Good morning.
I'm eating an apple.
Oh,
I'll put it down.
nice to see you, Martin. Hello, Lisa. Hi.
Hiya, you okay?
Yeah, good, thank you. Nice to see you at the last minute.
Yeah, thank you. I'm
Going
going to be
off my
turning my
own heart.
video off though, because I've got something just to do. That's
That's
okay.
okay.
So,
Yeah, no problem at all. Right. So let me just do the bits I need to do. Bear with me. I had quite a lot of people sign up today, and I'm just wondering, did you use the link in the email I sent this morning, Martin? Just out of interest.
Well, I don't really know because they're both in my calendar.
Okay.
I use the link.
But I noticed they're different numbers.
Because last week I had this problem where people were struggling to get in and it was saying another meeting was in progress. Lisa's got in because she only just registered.
But I clicked the link from the email.
Oh, from the email I sent this morning that said,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That said, yeah, whatever it said.
It just said join the meeting here.
Yeah, join the Zoom room here. Looking forward to seeing you at 12 today to talk about keywords to customers. Brilliant. Okay, that's all right then. And so everybody that had signed up would have that. So hopefully they'll be coming along soon. Right.
Yes, that's the link I used as well. Well,
okay,
obviously, because I'm in the same room. So.
Okay, great. It's just weird that, yeah, okay. Right, so I will hit record and okay. Oops, keep an eye on the thing. So, welcome to Simply Visible. This is my weekly website live event. I think both Martin and you, Lisa, are in my Facebook group, but the idea is that I've got Simply Visible, which is my free community on Facebook, and I'll include the link for anybody watching this on replay if they want to come in and join that. And basically that is an extension of this weekly live event. So the idea of today is to share some value around websites, SEO and blogging to get you more visible and get our websites working a bit harder for us and bringing in inquiries from the right type of customer. Because when someone has a problem, what do? They Google it. So we need to position your business offering in front of them so that they will come to you. I've got somebody just coming in now. And so I work with consultants, coaches, solopreneurs, basically personal brands. Good morning, Lisa. Who are looking to improve their online presence and get more traffic. And SEO is about little and often. It's about, making changes, adding content. Your website is a tool, but your content is the fuel. I say that a lot. But a bit like with a social channel, you wouldn't expect to set it up and put a few posts on there and leave it to its own devices and expect it to perform. Social channel takes work, and it's the same with some of the website content, i.e. the blogs. And so, yeah, I just want to share more and talk about, these kinds of things to help you understand the sort of bigger picture. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share 4 tips around keyword research. Now, interestingly, my keywords to customers post seem to have quite a good impact today, because I've had quite a lot of people sign up, even though they're not all on live. So I think there's something in that little term. Would you agree? Did that catch your eye? Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me share 4 tips to keyword research. So basically, we can either use sort of scroll marketing, which is social media, Instagram Facebook, LinkedIn, where you are, sharing your content, sharing your value, but you're not necessarily getting the right people looking at it at the right time. So the statistics around how effective social media marketing is much lower than organic search for a website. So, but within scroll marketing or within social media marketing, you're using hashtags, which are essentially your keywords, and you're hoping that you are using the right keywords to position yourself in front of the right customers. So there is, a whole strategy around hashtags, but often, I don't know about you, I do have a hashtag sheet that I sort of refer to, but often I just try to use a mixture of, I don't know, my ideal customer and some of the topics I'm talking about there and then. But it is a little bit haphazard. I don't know if it, it seems to work a little bit, but it is about visibility for me. I look at social media as a way of brand awareness, essentially. Whereas on the other hand, if you think about search marketing, which is where somebody's actually actively going and searching for something, the likelihood of them potentially finding you, that's what we want. But the idea is they are looking for help, whether they're looking for somebody to come and do the work for them, or whether they're at the research stage and they're looking to find a bit more information about something. That is the point, is that they are actively seeking that rather than scrolling through social media and then kind of coming upon a post that's actually quite a good fit. So does that help to sort of show that they're quite different? They've got their place, but with search marketing, you've got much more of an opportunity to potentially get in front of the right people if you're using the right keywords. Any questions at this point?
No, you just reminded me to use hashtags, which I haven't been doing for a few weeks. For some reason.
On socials?
Yeah, on LinkedIn. And I used to do the hashtag of my book program, Clear Your Head to Get Ahead. So I just, while you were talking, put it into Google. Well, it's all about me. It's amazing. Put in hashtag Clear Your Head to Get Ahead, and it's just a whole full page of me, my company, my LinkedIn profile, my programs.
That's good.
It is good.
Yeah. Got to get that hashtag trending.
Yes. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So another tip on socials as well is also to tag somebody in your post. And it seems as though the algorithm likes that a lot more than just not tagging anybody. So it's worth, trying to be a bit strategic about it. But yeah, that definitely seems to help as a side tip or hashtags. Anyway, so really, when we think about searching, Google isn't the only search engine, and Google isn't the only search engine in terms of actual search engines like Bing and DuckDuckGo, etc. But when you think about, Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, they all are search engines essentially. Particularly YouTube for content marketing, because YouTube's algorithm works ever so slightly differently, where you could post a video and put a post underneath the video, and that will actually be live more quickly than if you publish some new content on your website, because Google has there's a human element to content being kind of okayed. So if you really want to get something ranking more quickly, it's good to use YouTube in accordance with your website as well. But the point is, in order to come up for searches, we need keywords. We need to know how to do keyword research. We need to know how to align the problem someone's got and the keywords they're using with what you can do to solve that problem. And I often get, people saying to me, well, but nobody knows I exist. Nobody knows to look for my service. Obviously, this depends on what your business is, but if that's the case, then that's where blogging comes in, because blogging is like the back doorway into your website. So you might have answered a question for somebody, you might have answered a question that is something that is being asked, and then somebody has found your blog and read, hopefully read your blog or certainly interacted with it, and they've realized that you know what you're talking about on this topic. So therefore, it's not, a blog isn't going to be a hard sell. It's going to be more of a soft, answering the question and giving value. But then what you can do with your business blog is to then position your offer within that, so that you're sort of weaving that in quite naturally, that you could help them solve the problem if they were struggling to do it on their own, which clearly they are because they're researching it. So that is where, if you don't feel like your offer is something that people are actually actively searching for, then that is one of the ways around it. Yeah, any questions on that?
So the blog has to have, is a good blog will have some of the key search words in the blog article.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Not as a hashtag, but just
not as a hashtag.
As part of the narrative.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So just a word on, before I actually start my 4 tips, just a word on intent of keywords. So not all keywords are created equally. Some keywords are more what we call transactional, some are navigational, and some are informational. So navigational is when somebody knows about your business and they've Googled your name or your business name, so they are already aware of you. Okay. Yeah. You definitely want to be coming up for those searches, and a lot of businesses aren't, even for those simple navigational searches. So that is definitely something that needs to be fixed. The next thing is transactional. So transactional keywords, where somebody is actually looking to get the problem solved or to buy a product that is going to solve their problem, whatever that is. So they are actively looking for that solution done for them or provided for them. So that would be why it's transactional, because the intent is different. They're looking to spend money. Obviously, with a service, looking to spend money is going to look differently than a product, because products and services are obviously quite different. But essentially, the bottom line is they are looking to speak to somebody, or to, have a bit more information. Informational, which is then the blog types of keywords, that, as I said earlier, that's where somebody is still at their research phase. They're still looking into something, and they're not looking to speak to anybody. They don't want to be bombarded with, give us a call. That's why the blog needs to be a little bit more subtle. But it has its place in the sales funnel of funneling them into your transactional pages, essentially. So it's just worth understanding the difference between keywords. And when you get to the point of doing keyword research, the tools will help you identify what the intent is behind that keyword.
So I have a niggle that's just come up. You said that keywords can be they're not fixed, they're not permanent, they move. Did you say that, or misunderstand that?
No, that's true. So trends come and go. So keywords, because SEO is dynamic.
Right. So does that mean I have to every now and then have to keep going through my blog catalogue and refreshing?
Yes.
For current? Oh, okay. Thanks.
That's okay. But
job to do.
Well, yes and no, because think about it. what we're trying to do with blogs is create a bank of content that answers a lot of questions that you get asked a lot.
Yeah.
Now, if you start ranking for keywords on those blogs, then in a year's time, when if you're keeping an eye on your metrics and your measurements, you'll see if things start to change. And so then you would want to revisit and refresh it, because the trends of the keywords might have changed. That's not a bad thing, because you might then be able to get it ranking for more keywords or tightening it up. So you do have to think of this content as more dynamic and more evergreen, which is the point, because content on social media isn't evergreen in the same way, because it just goes down the scroll. Whereas your blog content is evergreen, and it's not about quantity necessarily, it's about quality.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's okay. Good question though. Any other questions at this point? Okay. Right. So I kind of like talking about keywords being the bridge between you and your customer. So in order to get the right keywords, you need to be researching them and knowing how to identify what is a good keyword. And that can start with topic research. A really good free tool is Answer the Public. And you can go into that and you could look at a very high level of a topic. So it's not in minute detail, but you might go in and look at, say, I don't know, SEO as the very broad topic. And then what you'll get is lots of questions around the topic you've looked for. And then there's like a heat. So there's like little dots next to it, and the dot that is darker in colour is more searched on, and as they get lighter in colour, they're less searched on. So that is a really great way of starting to look for topics that are actually, well, it's like a listening tool essentially of what people are searching for, not just on Google. And so that's a great place to start. And then you want to start kind of narrowing down what those keywords might be. And in Google itself, if you open up a browser and start searching for, let's say, SEO, what Google does is it starts to sort of suggest things that might be useful. So SEO is a bit broad. So if I said SEO consultant, then what you get is you start to get a list of keywords that are clearly searched on quite regularly, but there's no volume around that. So you don't know how many times that keyword has been searched, but it's a good place to start. But then at some point you are going to need a more in-depth tool, which usually at that point you need to pay for, because then you start to get the volume, you start to get how easy it would be to win that keyword, and the competition, etc. So has anybody ever used a paid tool for keyword research? No? Okay, so there's lots of them out there, and if you are interested to find out more, I do recommend a tool that is kind of an all-in-one tool that can do lots of the things you need it to do, from keyword research, competitor analysis, and loads more. And I'm happy to do a demo at some point if you're interested to have a look at what that looks like. And yeah, just let me know, and I'll drop a link below at the end for if you want to have a further chat. Okay, so first of all, you do your research. You try to identify some keywords that would be relevant, and then you would then want to weave those keywords into your content. Now, what you don't want to do is keyword stuff, where you are literally just trying to get as many keywords in as possible, because Google sees that as sort of black hat SEO. Because if you put your ideal customer at the heart of your content, you're creating engaging content that is lovely to read and is interesting and has a storytelling element. Or think about content you like to read. You know, we don't like great walls of text. We like things to be broken down and chunked, and headings and lists and things like that. So sort of empathizing with your reader as to what they would be wanting, but making sure that you weave those keywords in quite naturally. So if it feels like you're forcing it in, then don't do it. Just always put the user first. And this is being backed up so much with all the updates that Google do, and the updates Google have done this year, because they obviously update the algorithm. And sites that have not put the user at the heart of their content, they're getting penalized. You know, they're getting penalized for, and their rankings are dropping. So always, you know, same principle, whether the algorithm changes or not. You know, Google is a computer, and then your prospect is a human. We want to write for the human, but also know the tactics that can work for the algorithm. The next, and then the final thing really is to measure the results of how your keywords are performing. So again, you're going to need a tool for that. Google Analytics is a great tool, and the idea is that you would be able to look at the pages, the blogs, the landing pages that you have created to see what content is more popular, how long someone's dwelling on that content, whether they're taking an action and going through your funnel. In my kind of industry, we would call that a conversion. So you can't grow what you don't measure. So as long as you have a way of measuring and checking what you're doing, then you can, you know, as I said earlier, you could review that blog content, because what might be ranking top 3 this year might be quite different next year. And so if you're not keeping an eye on that, then, you know, you're slipping down and it's more work to try and get it back up. So it probably feels like another thing to add to the to-do list, but actually it's really worth adding to the to-do list. And or if you've got a VA or somebody that can help kind of measure some of these things, get them to be looking at it, and then you look at it monthly or whatever. But yeah, you do need to be measuring to be able to know what needs refining and tweaking, etc. So yeah, so they're the things I wanted to share with you today about doing your research, finding the right type of keywords, weaving that into your content seamlessly, and then monitoring the output and going back. It's like a bit of an iterative process, and going back and going, okay, so let's do the research again. Let's have a look at the keywords again. Are there any new keywords we can include? Let's weave that back in, or I've got an example I can pop in there now, or I've got a case study that would be relevant here. So you're really enriching your content over time, and that's where the SEO really starts to bed in over a longer period of time. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share today. One final thing, I don't know if you've heard of this, but there are sort of changes afoot with SEO because of AI. And so there's a term called search generative experience, which is still it's not even released over here yet. It's being tested in the States. I'm trying to keep on top of all of it and what that's going to mean. But it's just to put that on your radar, that there are going to be changes, but the principles of SEO remain the same. Create great content that answers questions, that is unique content, not all written by a chatbot, and, you know, use storytelling, use the human elements that make those connections. That's what it basically boils down to. And yeah, so that's everything I wanted to share. So any more questions, please do. I probably should have said this at the start. There's no such thing as a daft question in my world. Even if I've said something before, please do please do ask me, because I want you to go away feeling like you've had some value, and you don't want to go, oh, wish I'd asked Natalie that. So do fire questions at me if you have any. And I'm going to take a slurp of my coffee.
Very useful. I have no questions. I just see a pile of work in front of me, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's a process, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a process that takes time. Okay.
So if you were faced with a website that had articles on it called blogs, but weren't necessarily optimized with search engine optimization, would you go back to the first one and then rehash it and look at it and tune it up to SEO it and then republish it, maybe with a different title?
So yes, you could do that as a quick win, but really it would be worth going back a step and actually reviewing the strategy around all of your content and your offer.
Yeah.
So yes and no.
Yeah.
It's all testing, it's all discovery, it's all trial and error. It just is. If I knew the exact thing, I wouldn't be sat here now. I'd be on a beach somewhere hot. It is a case of just giving it a go. Try it. Take a blog that's quite top level topic.
Yeah.
And just give it a go. And then, as I say, measure it and see. But bigger picture, it is worth having more of a content plan mapped out. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. So I've just popped in the chat the link to Simply Visible, which is my free Facebook community, which is sort of an extension of this weekly live. So if you're not already in that, please do come and join it. Also, I mentioned if you wanted to have a demo of the SEO tool, or you just want to come and have a chat with me about anything, questions related to blogs, SEO, websites, you can book a call with me over on my website. I do have an SEO scorecard type thing. So if you want to see how your website is performing, then you can take that free test and you get a score back. And again, if you would like me to translate or explain the results of that, then book a call with me and then we can have a chat or whatever. And I think that was it. So before we go, could you all just pop one thing in the chat that you will take away from today that has been helpful to you, like one gem that that stands out to you as something that is going to stick in your mind? That would be really, really helpful, just so that I know what you're thinking, etc. You need to start blogging, Lisa. Yeah. To bring in my keywords into my blogs in a natural way. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, with starting blogging, Lisa, it doesn't all have to be around keywords. So if you've had people ask you questions a lot, and you've noticed there's a bit of a pattern as to the type of questions people are asking, it's worth writing a blog on that, because ultimately, when the next person asks you that question, you can say, good question, I wrote a blog on that, and then you can get them on your website. And that saves you time because you're not repeating yourself, but it also gives them a reason to go to your website. So, yeah, don't feel like, if it is a case of just starting, write something you're passionate about. Because when you think of the sales funnel, when people first discover you, they're cold anyway. They've only just come into your world. So yes, that blog content might be related to keywords, but as somebody's been in your world a while, maybe haven't started working with you, there might be things further down the funnel that they need to hear. That could be something you pop into social media and drive people to, because it's a topic that's being talked about. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Yeah. So don't let the keywords hold you back. If it's a case of starting, start. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to talk about something you're passionate about, and you can always refine it and make it better in the future. So yeah, that would be my final tip. And Nisa, you said how blogging can help. Good to hear that's I've put that on your radar. Excellent. All right. Well, really lovely to see you all. Thank you so much for coming along. And as I say, if you've got any questions or whatever, reach out to me with those links. And next week, I can't remember what the topic is next week. Something. I'll be talking about something next week. So hopefully see you then. Okay, take care.